G'day, boys and girls. The episode hasn't started yet. I just wanted to let you know beforehand that we recorded this podcast last Wednesday, which means it was only a couple days after the James Charles drama broke, and he was just losing subscribers massively. And we talked about it maybe for like 10, 15 minutes. We didn't really, talk about it for very long because, to be frank, we don't know shit and we're not uninformed, and we were aware of that. But I just want to let you know that, yeah, this was recorded before his response video. And I know that the drama is pretty much over now, but like I said, we don't talk about it for that long. So yeah, you can just skip it if you're sick to death of hearing about that shit. Either way, enjoy the episode. Peace. Hello and welcome back to the Misfits Podcast. It's rated 5 stars on iTunes by Big Dick Energy 420. He says, podcast, yes, good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very coherent
Very
and
nice.
well-written review there by Big Dick Energy 420.
Yes.
I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Toby on the telly,
Evening.
Swagger Souls, aka Eric Vivian Matthews,
Howdy.
Bald Man Mason,
Going on.
Jay, aka McCreamy,
Great.
and Matt.
What to do?
What did you just say?
Did great.
Great. Okay.
Great.
I like it. I am great.
Subtle.
I'm Fitz. Hello. I never introduced myself
Hi,
because I don't
Fitz.
have to.
Hi.
Hi guys.
Hey,
I've been here for a
Listen to
while.
this fucking ego on this guy.
I don't have an ego, okay? I'm just a celebrity.
James Charles looking ass.
I'm a celebrity. I don't have to deal with this kind of bullshit.
Love it.
Trying out video.
Love the
again.
We are trying out video again. We actually just tried recording this podcast and then figured out that the audio stopped recording like 10 minutes into it because the hard drive was full. So now we are trying again. We are filming this episode. As always, we don't know if this is ever going to see the light of day on YouTube.
We hope it will.
We hope it
That'd be
will.
nice.
We tried
That'd be
before.
nice.
That didn't work. This time might work. But who really fucking knows at this point? It doesn't really matter now, does it?
No.
Doesn't.
Not at all. It's a fresh try.
Thank you for that, Jay. Guys,
Thanks.
let's talk about old mate James Charles. Briefly,
Mhm.
before we get started, just want to say that none of us know what the fuck we're talking
Not a
about.
clue.
Yeah.
We are not a drama community channel.
I mean, I watched the Tati video, but like, it was 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you had to
I watched
kinda-
it on 2 times speed.
Smart. 200 IQ
It's only 20 minutes.
Infinity IQ. Yeah, so I mean, we're basically just your average consumers. We really aren't fully informed. So if we get the facts wrong,
Which we will.
Please
Which we
berate
will.
us in the comments.
please berate us in the comments because why not?
Spill the tea, sisters.
Yeah, spill the fuck out of that tea all over yourself and get a 3rd-degree burn, you fucking sisters.
Okay.
Bit hard.
I just snapped. Yes, old mate James Charles has lost many subscribers. I think he's the first,
3 million to be exact in about
That's like a
4
whole
days.
country.
more or less. Yeah,
Yeah.
He started at around 16.5 and he's now at less than 13.5. Tashi, the beauty channel that exposed him, has gained.
She's gained more subs than he's lost.
Yeah, she's gained,
Yeah.
over
Quite a
4
few.
million.
Quite a
So
Impressive.
this is really unprecedented in YouTube history. I don't know what the greatest sub loss in one day was before this.
It
But
was fucking Pro Jared.
Really?
He had the
Yeah,
record.
it actually was.
It was 100,000 subs he lost in a day, which was unprecedented.
Really?
And then beat immediately
James
by
Charles
this.
lost 1 million. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
dude.
Jesus.
That's fucking,
Yes.
dude, poor Pro Jared. He had one thing good going for him.
Yeah.
He held that record and it was just taken away.
I honestly,
Immediately.
I support Pro Jared. Like
Yeah, dude.
the guy
You're pro Jared then.
I'm pro Jared. He cheated on his wife, and I wish I could do the same.
What's
I'm
the point
stuck
of
in a
having
loveless marriage. Please help me.
What's the point of having a wife if you can't cheat on her?
That's what I'm saying. Bring it back to the 1800s.
Yeah, dude. Easy.
Yes, Pro Jared cheated on his wife, guys. Thank you for listening to the Misfits Podcast.
God. Yeah, I mean, should we give any background to who James Charles is for like the 60-year-olds?
James
that are
Charles is
tuning in?
gay, and basically James Charles,
Beauty YouTuber.
he's a beauty YouTuber. He is a gay man, but not in like the Kevin Spacey way, like in the trendy,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think James Charles' gayness is pretty trendy.
I think it's pretty trendy. I'd fuck him. But anyway, he's a bad guy and he's lost a lot of subscribers. And it's no good, honestly. It's made him rather unattractive in my eyes.
He made some bad decisions.
Made some
Yeah.
bad choices.
Quite a few.
I feel like the general vibe on the internet for the last 6 months to a year has been that his ego's been growing. It's kind of been and getting
Ego's
involved in
grown
some
with the sub count.
getting
People
involved in
just
some
been like-
minor sister scandals here and there.
Yes.
And this is really the last straw, so to speak. And everyone's like, fuck this guy. Let's
It's about
unsubscribe.
time.
Yes. And
Get him off his
It's been boiling. It's been boiling for a bit, and
Yeah.
now it's finally boiled over.
Yeah,
and
so
people
this-
are just fucking flocking away from him and going to Tati.
yeah, Tati is an older makeup YouTuber. She's
So
in her
Tati,
late 30s, I think.
She's like late 30s. She's a makeup YouTuber. She's been doing it for a while.
and she a bad bitch, okay?
I like her. She's cool.
Apparently.
She's a cool lady. There's just something I was saying in the last time we recorded this. There's something just really cool to me about a lady in her late 30s doing
Just killing it.
like killing it on YouTube.
I too
So cool.
am attracted to older women, but I don't air my dirty laundry on the podcast, Toby.
You guys are all wearing my dirty laundry.
You're absolutely
We got sister merch. Toby purchased.
Yes.
Why do you have so much
Toby,
of sister
Toby,
merch?
before this James Charles drama broke, he ordered so much Sister merch, and we're all wearing it right
This
now.
was before I even moved to Australia.
Yeah.
If you looked at my wardrobe, you'd think, fuck, this guy loves James Charles. I actually can't stand his videos. I find them very boring.
Yes.
But I saw him release his merch on Twitter, and I was like, fuck, that's really cool
That's an
merch.
investment.
And I bought it'll go down over time.
It's going up, it's going to be great.
But no, I was like, that's really cool, and I bought it in a bunch of different colors. I actually wear James Charles sweatpants pretty much every day.
This is like the equivalent of buying Apple stock right before it crashes. You know that, right?
Dude, vintage.
Yes, but we are all wearing James Charles merch for this podcast in honor of
Our fallen friend.
our fallen brother.
We could,
fallen
we
sister.
could pour a bottle of Gamer Sups, sponsored by Gamer Sups.
Yes.
Pour a bottle out for the homie, the fallen homie.
GamerSups.gg code Misfits. Great drink, not chalky like other energy
Other.
drinks.
Is that
in
just
the
going to be what we
market.
say every week?
Other.
You know what? I say it because it's true. But yes, James Charles has been shat on massively, and honestly, it's just fucking hilarious and awe-inspiring. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of just like watching a house burn down.
Fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, a train
And then
wreck.
the train wreck going in and crashing into a house.
Yeah.
And then that burning
Into
down.
an orphanage.
Into
and
an
then
orphanage.
orphans
Jesus.
running out of the front on fire screaming, I'm an orphan and I'm also burning. That's kind of what this is.
Holy
You
shit.
painted a very
Okay.
vivid image in my mind that I just
I
can't
like that.
erase.
That was the
like that.
idea.
Did any of you look at the Met Gala outfits?
Yes.
What the fuck is the Met Gala? This was the first year I've ever heard of it. What is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
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 Met Gala?
No,
No,
same,
I'm not
same.
gay.
I'm gonna be
What
honest.
is it?
I'm gonna be honest. That's the first time I've heard of it. as
What?
well.
Yeah.
I hate you people.
It was cool. I like it now.
hate
But
you.
No, I've heard of it.
I have no idea what the Met Gala is. All I know
It's just
is
a
that they
fashion
wear
event.
amazing outfits.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
Are you
actual
sure?
What was the
gala
thing I
is.
saw on like Instagram? They're like theme camp. Like they're supposed to go
theme
camping. And then it's like looks like just like plain
No,
dresses. I was
that's
like,
not what camp means.
what's camp mean?
Camp is like fabulous. It's like
Camp-
extravagant.
Camp means like
extra.
flamboyant.
like
Yeah.
over the top.
But yeah,
Just
I don't
that
know
they're
what the
gonna
Met
come in
Gala
with,
is,
like,
but every
backpacks on
year
and shit,
people
you know?
wear incredible outfits, and it's just really cool to see.
Katy Perry wore a hamburger.
Yeah,
She wore a hamburger?
a lot of people. Katy
That's
Perry
not original.
No, Katy Perry wore a
someone a
chandelier.
swore?
Yeah, and then she had a
The chandelier was like it just looked like a joke, but she was so serious.
Katy Perry is a joke.
Katy Perry, you're welcome to come on the podcast and defend yourself. Dude, take me back to the days when Lady Gaga just wore a dress made entirely out of raw meat.
Take me back to the days when everyone thought Lady Gaga had a penis.
Disco stick.
Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
the hottest rumor on the playground when I was in middle school.
Lady Gaga's got a cock. Are you sure?
How do you
Pretty
know
sure,
that?
bro. Like everyone's talking
and
about
it was all because there was like one shadow through her dress where
Yeah.
it looked like she had a dick. It was just fake,
It's
obviously.
just been a maxi pad.
Or she did have a penis and she got it cut
She
off.
got it cut off. When the rumors started
Now
to
she's
spread.
flat like Barbie.
We're reigniting the theory, guys.
Lady Gaga, please come on the podcast and
Defend
explain
yourself.
yourself.
No, but
Well, that's our strat to get like celebrities on the podcast. Just insult
them
them.
out.
Yeah.
yes, that will really make him want to come on.
Yeah.
Do you not have a penis?
Why did you bring up the Met Gala?
Oh, because it happened like a few days ago.
And James Charles got invited by YouTube.
James Charles got invited to the Met Gala.
Along
and
with Liza Koshy and who was the other one?
I don't
Superwoman?
I don't care.
Jason Nash.
No, all I know about the Met Gala, other than the fact that a bunch of celebrities wear out crazy outfits, is that James Charles, there's footage of him like on Twitter that got released of like 3 minutes, 2 minutes maybe, of him just standing there while all these celebrities walk past him and we're getting like asked for interviews, and he was just being completely ignored. And like it could have been taken out of context. Like I'm sure he still had a good time, but he just looked so sad, and it was like, oh no.
I mean, he should have just walked in.
Yeah.
Why would you stand there waiting? Like, what are you waiting?
Because he
for?
demands that he is acknowledged. James Charles is very much about like, I'm a celebrity. I'm a mainstream celebrity now.
Wasn't he stalking someone there?
No, that was fake.
There was a fake rumor?
Fake.
There's so many fake rumors.
There is so many fake rumors about James Charles. So many people wrote massive, long Twitter messages about like, yeah, I went to high school with James Charles, and he
sexually assaulted my friend in the urinal.
90% of those have been proven false.
Yeah.
Or the people that made them were like, yeah, I'm sorry,
Just
I
people
faked
trying
that.
to get some clout.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious, really. I mean, this is like, it's crazy that we're still breaking records for just how fucked up YouTube drama can get. This is insane. I mean, 3 million subscribers. Can you imagine like what his team is going through right now?
Yeah, man.
Like,
but when your whole audience is like teenage girls and they're just all about the motherfucking tea, then fucking, of course, there's going to be this big backlash and just complete 180 in how they view people.
It
and just
also doesn't help that James Charles is like the king of that culture. He I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not in that sort of area of YouTube, but I'm pretty sure James Charles was the one that was always pushing the tea and stuff like that. I mean, I could be wrong, but
I don't know. He's definitely like, the beauty community is just known for being just ruthless,
cutthroat, ruthless,
savage.
toxic
It's
women.
basically just Game of Thrones, but really camp.
Yeah, super camp.
That's awesome.
And yeah, Tati was very much like, gave Cersei vibes in that video. She's just like wearing that dress with like the poofy shoulders, just leg crossed, just 40 minutes, just destroying this kid's career. I was like,
All she needed was a glass of wine.
I know, it was awesome. But yeah, I mean, we're not really that informed about the specifics of the drama, and we don't really want to list a bunch of facts and then get them wrong and have a bunch of people in the comments or 5-star reviews down below.
We could mention the points and just say that they were alleged, and I think that'd be fair.
Allegedly,
he hit on straight guys and pressured them into, I guess, sleeping
by using his fame.
By using his fame and his money and his influence, etc.
So it seems like 90% of this boils down to ego and betrayal.
Yes.
I would say so. It was
ego, betrayal, and just a kid getting a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this before the last podcast fucked up, but it seemed very much like James Charles just didn't have anyone in his life that was telling him that he was wrong or doing the wrong thing. Or if he did have people in his life like that, he wasn't listening to them. And
I feel like if I was in James Charles's position, I would be very hated.
You would be the worst person to be in James Charles's position.
I feel like if I was as famous as James Charles, the same thing would happen to me, but probably worse. Everyone would be like, yeah, no, he's just got a huge ego, just constantly talks about how famous he is.
I think you're a good person.
What did you say the other day? If you were like the ruler of the world, like you just get really, really bored and...
Oh yeah. I was like, I'd love to be a dictator. And then Ron was like, no, you wouldn't. You get bored. And I was like, you're probably right. I'd probably just get super bored of being in charge of everything.
You just start killing people.
Just start killing people. Start fucking executing people.
But I wouldn't kill them myself because that would be boring. I'd get someone to kill them for me.
Well, you don't want to get your hands dirty.
No.
Jesus.
Nothing more boring than washing blood off of your hands.
Yeah. I want to watch and tell them how to do it, but I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah. Of course.
I couldn't kill someone. I could just have it done. Snapped.
We should probably explain what Mason's doing over here.
Oh yeah.
Mason has, I think he.
What's he drawing there?
That's beautiful. A nice little goblin.
Self-portrait.
Have you got your finger there to hide a penis?
Look, let's just explain what we're talking about, because there's a good chance that the video of this won't get released. Basically, we ran into the problem when we were discussing how to film the podcast, that Mason just stares at the table for a lot of the podcast, unless he has something to say.
Kind of twiddles his thumbs.
And so we were like, let's give him a pen and paper, and let's just get him to draw so he can keep himself entertained.
I've drawn some really good art pieces.
He's just drawing some art. He's drawing a gremlin by the looks of things.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
It's a gremlin monkey. And he's got a karambit, blue steel.
Very cool. He's a pimp.
Factory new?
Minware.
No. I feel like with Karambit's on the battle scar, because then you get that little bit of purple in it. The blue steel.
Oh, yeah.
I'll battle scar it then.
What's his name, man? Tough one.
Nice name.
Gramunk.
Gramunk. Well, shout out Gramunk, and to any Gramunks listening, like shout out to you as well.
Yeah.
Keep your head up with a name like that. Life's gotta suck, but I'm rooting for you.
For sure.
Swagger mentioned before we shot the episode that he wanted to talk about dreams. Good way to lead into this is that last night I had an extremely graphic dream because I'm on a little bit of a marijuana break, and if you've ever been on a marijuana break, you know that your dreams are extremely graphic for the first few days after stopping. And last night I had just an intense dream that I can remember almost every detail for about James Charles. And at the end, PewDiePie made an appearance, which was awesome as well.
Collab.
The biggest orgy.
Basically, I was James Charles's tour manager in Australia. Is he in Australia now?
Yeah, he's at the Gold Coast, I think.
Yeah. Oh man,
We should get him down here.
We should get him down there.
I wish.
But I was basically like, the controversy had just broken, and I had to put on the show for James Charles and make sure that everything went well. And he was just like really distressed the entire time, and I was trying to console him and make sure that everything went smooth. Safe to say things did not go smooth. The fans were very upset. He tried singing at one point.
Did he try
everyone booed. Yeah, everyone everyone booed, and at the end he was just crying, and I was consoling James Charles. So I guess
Jamesy.
deep down in my conscience, I feel sympathy for this guy.
For a moment, I forgot you were talking about a dream, and I thought you were just discussing what happened on his tour. And I was like,
It could have been real.
everyone booed?
It felt real.
Oh my God.
It felt real. But yeah, I mean, nothing went well. I was like trying to work with the audio technicians, and they were fucking up, and I think they just gave up at some point. And then, yeah, eventually.
That's one hell of a stress dream.
It was a stressful dream, although at the same time, oddly entertaining.
Okay, but when did you meet PewDiePie?
Okay, so after the show ended, I had some free time, so I went for a walk outside. For some reason, even though it was nighttime, it was daytime. It was bright outside.
Holy shit.
And I was walking through a park, and there was a creek in the park, and I noticed that this guy had driven his car into the creek and was like on this little rock in the middle of the river, smoking a big fucking joint.
Right.
I walk up to this man. He's maybe in his 30s, and I'm like, hey. And he's like, yo, you want some of this? And I'm like, is that weed? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, sure. He throws me the joint. It lands in the water because I didn't catch it properly. And I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, man. And he's like, no worries, buddy. I got more. He pulls out like 5 other joints of different strains. He hands me one. We light up. We're having a good time just talking to this guy. We're walking down the park road together. And then for some reason, PewDiePie is just on the side of the road with a bunch of fans around him, like asking for photos.
Yeah.
And I went up to him. I didn't tell him I was a YouTuber, but I basically, for some reason, immediately asked him, like, let's compare heights. Let's compare how tall you are compared to me. And like, I was trying to get a photo, but my hand was shaking, I think. And like, I handed it to someone, but no one was around to take the photo for me. And I just felt really embarrassed. And then I think that's pretty close to where I woke up.
Damn.
So
Wow.
it was great. It was a great dream.
Intense.
Weirdly, that sounds like a stressful dream, but when I woke up, I was like, take me back.
I want to go back there.
I want to go back to sleep.
I need
Mason,
that photo.
Didn't you have a stress dream recently?
I had like 2 in the past 2 nights, cunts. Fucked.
Tell us about it.
Well, the other night I got pancreatic cancer, then
Pancreatic
ended up in
cancer?
a Samus suit.
Samus suit?
Yeah.
As in Samus? As in what? The character?
Yeah, like
sh-
from Metroid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I fucking, so I got pancreatic cancer, and I was getting like wheeled down the buggy down this fucking forest road.
Lit.
And then
As
it
you
was
do
like,
when you get pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
They just like dump you in the forest and leave you.
and my mum and nan were in this random fucking house in the woods, and they're like, oh yeah, you got pancreatic cancer, stiff shit. Here you go, have a Samus suit. Cheer up, mate. And I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. And it was like a knockoff shit one that just shot little lasers and shit.
Did it have like
little toy guns.
Did it have like breastplates on it, or like was it like a female suit?
Yeah.
Samus is a female,
it was like
right?
it was like for like a men's one, kind of like a Doom kind of thing.
Okay.
And fucking and then it started like I tried like shooting birds with the laser and trying to kill them with it.
It was just like
It
Buzz
didn't
Lightyear
work.
just going like pew 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 pew, making noises.
Yeah, and then I got fucking set on fire and then like woke up.
How'd you get set on fire?
I think I shot a power line with the laser and then my glove went up.
no.
And I just caved in and died.
That is a rough day.
Yeah.
Get pancreatic cancer. For some reason, your family gives you a Samus suit, and then you get set on fire by your own laser.
The dream I told Swags was way more fucked. This
Can
one
you
was
talk about
cooked
it?
as cunt. Yeah. All right. get ready, cunt.
I'm buckled in.
I'm ready, dude. I got my
Alright.
seatbelt on.
Okay, so I had this like, it was fucked as cunt. So I had like this piece of paper here, and it was like kind of like where we live actually, like kind of that area, like where we go get that.
The audience knows.
And then fucking I had this piece of paper, and every time I grab it, it'd like fly me in the fucking sky. And like every time I'd let go of the paper, I'd like fall down.
Like
and,
a piece of A4 paper?
yeah, just a regular piece of A4 paper with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And like you guys were there like in the park and shit, Kobe and stuff as well, fucking watching me and like, yeah, this is fucking sick. I kept grabbing it up and like, yeah, look boys. Woo.
How high up were you going in the air?
Like nearly up to the clouds. Like,
Really?
fucking high.
That's
Pretty high.
Yeah, and I'd like look down and I'd be like full of adrenaline shit, and I'd let go of the paper and fucking start falling again, and I'd grab it and go back. I kind of started getting the hang of it, like steering and shit.
Nice.
And then I went over the water, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm off track, and like I'm fucked. And then I just fell in the water, like started drowning and shit.
Holy fuck.
And then like I walked out of the water, and I was like lost, like no one was around. I'm like, fuck this. Then I ended up at a bar or some shit, like some random bar, like fucking ramen or something.
Okay.
And we're like out the front, like eating out the front. I was like with some random cunts, like eating ramen and shit and having drinks. And then like these like mob guys started rocking up like one by one, like and walking into the bar. And then like this one cunt, the last cunt who rocked up had like a big gold jacket and shit and bling and all this. And he just pulls out a gun and points it like right at my fucking face.
Really?
Starts shooting at me. And I'm like,
You're ducking and weaving.
I full started dodging it and shit.
Holy
and then
fuck.
but then I like turned around the corner, got hit in the shoulder.
No.
And I was like, had my arm on the shoulder and I fucking elbowed the cunt, grabbed his gun. I was like spraying them all down. Felt like I had a Russ Thompson. I was like, but it was weird because they weren't bullets. It was like, they were like paintballs.
You're having you're having like PTSD from like Ryan shooting you with the gel blaster the other
Some
day.
shit like that, probably. It was actual full word like that too. I was shooting so I was shooting those at these cunts, and I like booked it, started running. I know I got hit in the arm and the leg, and I was like struggling to get away. Jumped a couple walls, there was lights everywhere, cunts trying to get me. And then fucking, what's it called, cunt? Fucking, yeah, I found an Uber, and I got in. I'm like, trying to keep my cool, like act like nothing's going on or anything. And then I'm like to the bloke, I'm just like, oh man, I'm hit, man, I'm hit. And then I'm like, but thank fuck you're here, dude. I'm fucking saved, thank fuck. And he like looks at me, like gives me the biggest smile I've ever seen. He goes, well, like you're not safe, mate. You're fucked, kind of thing.
Oh
no.
no!
Yeah, and
not the plot twist.
yeah, and it was like turns out it was an Uber cunt that was like part of the posses at the bar.
No.
Like, covering the area. And I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, oh mate, I'm too fucked to do anything. I can't go anywhere anyways. He's like, don't worry mate, you're not going anywhere. And he started driving. And then I just did the most quick fucking unbuckle on my seatbelt and hopped out the car of my life. And then fucking hit the wall and I started limping away. And then fucking turned the corner, this bitch comes out, fucking starts popping caps in my head. And then I wake up and I fucking shit bricks, and I swear to God I was like grabbing my head and my fucking shoulder, and it felt like I was still hitting a dream.
Yes.
Fucked as.
Holy
If you-
fuck.
Full thought I was hitting shit.
You guys ever had a nightmare where you wake up and it's like I've had a nightmare before where like I've gotten stabbed or I've gotten shot, and I'll wake up and I'm still half asleep, but I'll still feel the pain wherever it happened in the dream. And, then I'll fucking shake awake and be like, holy fuck, and I'll be fine. And after like a minute.
I've had a dream where I was running away from some kind of witch. When I was a kid, and I woke up, and then she was at the foot of my bed, and then I actually woke up.
Oof.
That was scary as fuck. She was just there smiling, and then I woke up.
That's like some
that's
sleep paralysis shit where you're like seeing shit.
I used to do this thing when I was a kid. For some reason, I think it's because, do you guys know the story of Bad Jelly the Witch?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know what the fuck
Bad
that
Jelly.
is.
Yeah.
It's like it's an old tale.
Might be a New Zealand thing.
I mean, I don't know if I think it's like a
Bad
UK.
Jelly.
The UK would probably know what it is. It's just a story. It's kind of like a fairy tale, but it's not even scary, but it's like kid scary,
Yeah.
But anyway, the bad character in that is a witch. Go figure. And when I was a little kid, I used to always sleep with my feet, like my legs, like drawn up towards my torso, almost in a ball,
Like a
because
fetal position.
I was worried that for some reason there was a portal at the end of my bed, and a witch would just snatch my feet and drag me through to the underworld.
Oh,
You're
shit.
retarded.
Yeah, I was fucking retarded. That's an unrelated note. Another dream that I had, which is similar to what you were just talking about, is I dreamt that I jumped off a diving board and then the water was gone and I just hit the fucking ground and then I woke up as soon as I hit the ground.
Those are the worst kinds.
And I was like, fuck, I was covered in sweat. I was like, oh my God.
I went through a phase in high school where I was having these really vivid dreams and they were like practically stories. And I'd wake up and I'd write them down and I'd try to make short stories out of them. I've had some really fucked up ones. There was one where, and this was before like I even had like the whole night helmet thing, you know, and before even YouTube. This must have been like 8th grade, 9th grade. The dream started, I was a knight in a village, and it was like, I knew I was a knight for this village for years. I knew like my duty was to protect everybody in the town, and I loved everybody in the town, and I just wanted to protect them. And the village elder comes to me, and he goes, you know, there's this dragon that is, you know, is a big threat, and it's threatening to burn down the village. Nobody can stop him, not even you. You know, you can't fight the dragon. If you try to fight him, he'll kill you, and then he'll burn down the village. We have to offer him a sacrifice. So, you know, you're our knight, and we trust you. Would you do this for us? And right away, I was like, of course, absolutely, I will 100% do this for you. You know, this is my duty. I swore an oath. You know, I need to honor this. I love everybody. You know, I'll do this. And he's like, okay. And so he leads me to this cave, and he opens up the door and walks in with me. And he goes, you know, this is the cave. At the end of the cave is the dragon. You need to walk down this very long, it was this giant cave. And, you know, it was just darkness. It was just darkness. It was like there was fucking torches and then just darkness. He goes, it's all the way at the end. Face the dragon and let him consume you. And then, you know, you'll save the village and everything. And so he leaves and closes the door behind him. And so I'm taking a couple steps forward, and I'm thinking about, you know, and the dream was just surreal. You know, I'm walking forward, and I'm like, you know, I got to do this. I got to do this. And I start shaking, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, I really don't want to die. I don't want to die. This isn't worth it. Why me? You know, my whole life I protected this village, and they're betraying me like this. I can't do this. And so I left. I opened the door, and I'm fucking shaking. I opened the door and I left the village, and, you know, I left the cave, and I went up to the hillside and just sat down and started crying because, you know, I abandoned my town and my duty, and I see just the dragon soar over the village from this hilltop and just start burning the entire thing to the ground completely. And I'm hearing the screams and everything, and, you know, people going like, why'd you do this? And you know, I'm sitting there.
It was your fault.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I betrayed them. I loved them. You know, I should have just done it. I can't believe this. I betrayed everybody. You know, like, you know, what happened to my honor, my duty? So I took my sword out of my scabbard, and I fell on it and killed myself and woke up.
You had this, how old were you?
Dude, I was like fucking, must have been like 14, 15.
It's too much Skyrim for one day.
Yeah, I reckon, dude. But that was one of my fuck dreams. I've had plenty more. I turned that into a short story. My creative writing class got an A. So, you know,
humble brag.
Silver lining out of that traumatic fucking nightmare.
And Swagger still goes to therapy to this day because of that dream.
I
still feels overbearing guilt.
I feel like in order to have, you know, like super intense, like really vivid dreams, you need to be super comfortable. And, you know, when I want to be comfortable, I like to sit on my burrow sofa.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's just so fucking comfortable.
Yep.
You know? And it's customized and perfect for me. You know, it's got my charging port in the couch. What fucking couch has a charging port?
I honestly
I don't know
can't believe that more couches don't have charging ports. Am I illiterate now? What is going on?
I guess Burrow is just fucking genius. Like a charging port in your couch so you can sit there on your couch. You don't have to find a fucking cable. You don't have to make sure you set up your couch near a charging port. It's great. Yeah. I love it. You know, it's fully modular. You can customize it how you want. It comes in a bunch of different styles. You can change the materials used. You can change the legs used. It's great. Super high quality. And, you know, if you use code Misfits, or if you go to burrow.com/Misfits, you can get $75 off a new sofa.
That is amazing.
Sofa.
I'm so stoked that Burrow sponsors us.
Yeah.
They make excellent sofas. And yeah, I mean, literally the charging port alone is reason enough to
Yeah.
grab yourself.
So sick.
It's so sick.
You fall
yeah,
asleep in
good
that
idea.
thing, you will not get a nightmare. Guaranteed.
No.
So for free shipping and for $75 off your new sofa, go to burrow.com. That's burrow.com/misfits today.
Epic style.
Thank you, Burrow.
Thanks,
you very
bro.
much.
Love you. Mwah.
Mwah.
Anybody else have any fucked up dreams?
Well, actually,
Jay?
speaking about fuck dreams, the last few nights, 3 nights, I've had really vivid dreams of me just dying in various ways
Get the hell out of town, Jay.
and waking up. Yeah.
You're just getting double pumped.
No.
I've been having really vivid dreams.
You're getting trick shotted yourself.
No, like,
Yeah.
it's been really weird because I've been really stressed lately.
Mm.
And I think that's what's causing it.
Mm.
And
Definitely
so
stress.
the first one, it had something to do with snakes, and then I ended up waking up. The second one was a car crash, and then the one that was like literally last night was a plane crash.
Seems like you've been watching Final Destination.
But, and then I was like, what the fuck? Is this like predicting my death or something? I looked into it, and there's actually like proper symbolism to these dreams. And
Yeah.
How do you mean symbolism?
like people have these sort of dreams, and they can like, I think the car crash one was something to do with like you needing to have changes in your life and that sort of stuff.
Are you trying to say that I'm attracted to James Charles because of my dream?
Yeah.
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 It's exactly
Not-
what
not
everyone-
just-
PTSD was predicting the car today
Yeah,
that we
exactly.
filmed.
But it's crazy.
I gotta see my therapist.
Dreams are wild.
Dreams are pretty epic.
Dreams are
Dreams
wild.
crazy, y'all.
Dreams are crazy. Yo.
Yeah, it's weird because I haven't like had dreams I could remember in the longest time until recently.
yeah.
And
It fucks
sometimes
with like
they
your
just,
REM
like-
cycle. You just can't remember your dreams. Like everyone dreams, you just can't remember it.
Yeah. Everyone just.
I hate the dreams where they're like really, really good, and you wake up and then you're like,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
take me
yeah.
back, man.
And
And
then
you
like-
can't remember it.
and you
Yeah.
immediately get that sense of the dream just escaping. You
Yeah.
can't even remember what it was. You just know that it was like
Yeah, it just
ecstasy.
fades
It was
so
the
quickly.
best thing ever.
You know, your whole dream is you getting this girl back to your house, and then you start undressing, and as soon as you're about to penetrate, you just, I'm awake.
Hey, that is too close to home, man. What the fuck?
The weirdest thing I've ever had, the worst thing dream related that's ever happened to me was one time I had a sex dream
One time.
on a plane.
A single
Oh
time.
my
I fell
God.
asleep
Shit.
on the
Right.
plane and had a sex dream. And I was just like, I woke up and I was like, fuck. I hope I wasn't, because, you know, I don't know if when you're
yeah,
dreaming you actually
yeah.
move around and stuff.
Right.
But I was like, what if
It's like sitting there
what if
like
I was
moaning in
fucking
your sleep.
beating off during this dream in a plane?
You're just like,
You're silently moaning there, just like
Flight attendant comes out with water. He's like, excuse me. Oh, okay.
like snoring.
Oh, sorry, I must have spilled. Oh, wait, never mind.
I was like, imagine if that happened, but I'm pretty sure it didn't. And I assume I can't remember when it was, but I assume I was with like Mason or something. I think it was probably when we went to Europe, but yeah,
That was a while ago. Holy
that was
shit.
pretty weird.
I think the weirdest dream for me is always like whenever you get like sleep paralysis. It's like the weirdest fucking
never
dreams.
had it.
Never
and I
had that.
don't
Neither.
It's so
Really?
scary. It's so fucked. It's worse, like 10 times worse than like your worst nightmare.
What does it even mean?
It's like you're like literally half awake and half asleep at the same time. It's so hard to describe. It's just
why
one of
is
those
it
things
always
like
bad? Why
it's
is-
just scary.
It's
like,
like
why is it scary? Why can't
it's
it be
because
good?
when you come out of like a dream and you're paralyzed because you're still half asleep, it's like your mind recognizes you're awake, but your body physically is still asleep.
yeah.
So, you know, I've had it where, you know, I'm in a car and, you know, my dad and my sister are up front and, you know, and I know I'm awake, but my eyes are closed and I can't lift my eyes up. I can't move and I'm just hearing auditory hallucinations. I'm just completely fucked. And, you know, if you don't recognize that it's sleep paralysis, your mind just turns to the darkest, scariest shit that it can possibly do.
Really?
Yeah. So
Why does it do that?
Don't know.
it's just fucking human
know why.
nature.
It's like
man.
they always
I guess
describe like
instinct
there's like
could be evolution
Instinct. Why would your mind instinctively go to the worst shit imaginable?
because, you know,
It might be to try to wake you
it's
up.
to, you know, I guess
You're just taking a nap and your brain's like, your mother never loved you.
No, it's like survival. It's like
Fight or flight.
It's why, you know, the reason why people think that there are nightmares where you're getting chased, you know, it's because it's primal. It's supposed to, you know, like our ancient ancestors, you know, they'd go to sleep and their stress stream would be they're being chased by predators or there's something lurking in the darkness. And that's supposed to reinforce survival, you know, so that when you wake up, you're reminded of your mortality and that you need to stay alert and all of that shit.
Chase streams are awesome. Have you ever had like a full-on like Mission Impossible Matrix style dream where it's just action-packed and you
Oh,
love it?
yeah.
Yeah, I've had an almost lucid dream once where like it was up to me to stop a terrorist attack. Like a bomb was at the very top of this tower, and the entire dream was me just like running to the tower, like dodging mobsters that were shooting at me, and then trying to climb up the spiral
fucking
staircase
sick.
and
That's
like
so cool.
killing people with a silenced USP on the way up. And then I honestly can't remember how it ended. I probably fucked up and killed everyone, but I mean, the rest of it was
kinda
awesome.
sick.
The rest of it was
Sick while it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say with the sleep paralysis ones are really weird because like when you're in the dream, like everything feels different. Like the one common thing I keep hearing like people describe is like you'll sense like a presence or something. Like you'll see someone walk into the room and leave, or it's like it feels like you'll be looking at someone in the dream, or like not even someone, like you can't even see him. It'll be like a dark shadow, and it feels like there's like staring into your
Shadow
soul.
people.
It's just like
Definitely a
staring
clown.
at you. Yeah.
It's definitely just a clown.
And the other one is
Recently-
like someone like sitting
James
on you, and like you
Charles.
feel a weight too.
Charles.
James Charles,
Yeah,
look at
James
your
Charles.
foot of your bed.
You wake
coming.
up and James Charles is at the foot of your bed
Hi,
at 3 a.m.
sisters.
blowing you.
He's just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Recently, I've been like, if I'm up really late and like no one else in the house is awake and all the lights are off in my room and stuff, and I'll be lying in bed. If I'm like, I could be like watching a YouTube video on my laptop or something, and then all of a sudden I just feel like I'm being watched, and I feel
Yeah.
like there's someone in my
It
house.
feels like that, but in your
Yeah,
dream, it's
and
so weird.
like,
Yeah.
And yeah, and I know that's normal. Well, not normal, but like it happens.
I live alone. I get
felt
that
that.
every day.
Yeah, but it's like it's fucking creepy, man.
Yeah.
And I've had times where like, because I've watched horror movies my whole life as well, which means, you know, this is new to me, but also I have all of the horror movie
Yeah.
shit in the background of my
Story.
like,
Yeah.
Right.
like, oh yeah, what if there is something just watching me, or like something in my room, and I would just
Probably
have to turn the
spider.
light on and stuff.
Or like a bug.
There's no way that there's an actual instinct for being
No,
watched.
There isn't. Scientists have tested it. Apparently there isn't. There's
Yeah.
no sixth sense.
There's no way that it
What
exists.
about if there's like a crowd and someone's like staring at you? Like eventually you'll like catch their gaze, you know? Like you just...
This is chance.
No,
I mean, like you're bound to look around at some point and see someone, and like you wouldn't know. Like there's probably countless times you've been in a crowd and someone's been looking at you and you just never saw it.
that's true.
But you'll catch them one.
And you're like, oh, then for sure it's
going
going to happen.
Yeah, it's just paranoia and anxiety. This is why like I can't watch horror movies, because I think my psychology is just a sucker for all the tricks they play on you. And it always makes me dwell, especially because I live alone and I also live next to an old house with an old man who lives there that I've never seen his face, but I've only seen him whistling and walking around the backyard, and he kind of scares me to this day.
I think the thing that triggered it for me. I think the thing that triggered it for me was recently I've watched a lot of those Ask Reddit videos, and I was watching one at like 5 a.m. I was watching one where it was like, what's the creepiest thing that's ever actually happened to you? And it was just like, you know, it was a lot of the stories were like police. And they're like, oh yeah, we turn up to this call, and then there was people standing outside the house, and then they would disappear. And like stuff like that. And I was watching that one night, and it was like 5 a.m. I was like, wait, why the fuck am I watching this right now?
Yeah.
And I had to close my laptop. And then ever since then, I think that was what triggered it. I've had those kind of thoughts of like, is someone watching me right now?
It's so
Is there
funny
someone in
that
my room?
out of all the horror movies you've seen, the Ask Reddit thread is what got you.
It's because horror movies are fake, and these are stories that people are saying are true.
But there's
They're saying
Reddit.
it's true.
I think your mind's telling you just the internet's real scary.
No, it'll be things like, oh yeah, like someone broke into my house and I was still in the house, and like, you know, I saw them walking around and stuff, and it's like, that sort of shit will fuck me up.
Yeah.
I
That's
can
why
watch
you have a
any
gun.
horror movie as long as it's not super realistic. Like,
Well, because you know it's a horror movie. You're like, oh, this is
super
fake.
basic.
What about like have you seen any of the fucking Ted Bundy documentaries
No, I
or
haven't
anything
watched
like
those
that?
yet. They wouldn't screw with me. I
No.
don't
Why
think.
not?
I
Because
watched
that's
it.
a real thing that happened.
Yeah,
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, serial
Or like-
killers, they're interesting.
Yeah, like serial killer shit like always fucks with me.
my shit is more like people breaking into my house or something. Or
But that's serial
well,
killer
like,
shit.
kidnapping thing.
I mean, granted, you're not like an attractive young woman who's jogging late at night, but still, like this shit,
Yeah.
you never know. If you're listening to this, maybe you're being watched right now.
Maybe it could be a
That's
gay serial
fine.
killer.
That's
That's all I know.
Sorry about that. Sorry, just distressed hundreds of people. Because only hundreds of people listen to this thing. Let's be honest.
the only horror movies that fucked me up were realistic ones where it's like either like kidnapping or breaking into people's houses and stuff like that, where it's like that could theoretically happen, or exorcism ones because
That shit to me is the-
exorcisms actually happen, and it's like whether like, well, look, exorcisms may not be real, obviously, but they do happen. Like people do actually perform exorcisms, whether anything fucking happens
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not. I don't believe that actually anything happens, but when I watch an exorcism movie, it just makes me think people, like priests actually do this shit. That's fucking weird. And it makes me sometimes go like, what if that shit's real?
Yeah.
Although that was more when I was a kid. I haven't watched an exorcism movie in fucking ages.
I don't believe in ghosts, spirits, demons, any of that shit. So.
Do you guys have
What
any-
about commies? Those scare you?
They're the
No,
worst.
'cause I'm armed.
What were you gonna say, Jay?
Do you guys have any scary stories that people have told you, or just
On the
any experiences?
on the train of thought relating to the Reddit thing, there was a thread I remember from way back in the day that I read when I was in university, which was like, what is the scariest photo on the internet? And like, there are a bunch of your typical like serial killer, like documented photos and stuff. And I was like, okay, like this is just gory. Like that's fine. But there was this one like halfway down the thread where, and there was a description to go along with it. Basically the photo was of two guys standing on the Grand Canyon. Like someone took it from like another kind of cliff. They're standing on the edge, and just behind them where they couldn't see, the photographer should have been able to see this person. There was this hooded man with a pale face, dressed fully in black, just like half in the trees and just like staring. And like the caption was, my uncle and his friend took this photo. It was supposed to be a gag because like they were throwing a fishing line over the Grand Canyon. That's the joke.
Yeah.
And they took this photo and they didn't realize that this other guy was in the shot until like they went back into the car and looked at it. And it's like, who the fuck is this guy who's just out here in the Grand Canyon when no one else is around, dressed fully in black, and he's literally in the photo. Granted, it could just be fake,
Staged,
but it seemed pretty real to me. I don't know. Maybe it's real. I don't know. That
any personal scary shit? Any like ghost stories?
My nan's uncle or brother. It was this. She told me this when I was like 8 or 9 or something. I was really young and naive. And
nice one, Nan.
I did, yeah. It fucked me up. Well, pretty much, he had like a heart attack, and he was on the table, and because my nan's really religious and stuff, he and my nan's uncle wasn't at all, but pretty much he was on the table. He had a heart attack, and he was like going pretty much. He was about to die and that sort of stuff. They were operating on him.
In the kitchen table?
No, not the table.
Operating
like
table.
not operating table.
The hospital.
I must have zoned out for like one
The
word there.
hospital. And pretty much he recalled being taken like down out of his body by these two massive beings with like wings and shit. He had like chains all over his body. He was fully naked, and he was just going down, down, and down. And he felt like heat, like just hot in the heat, like hearing screams and all that shit, and like the worst smell known to man, and like.
Dude, deadass went to hell.
Yeah, exactly. And they brought him back, and holy
Crazy.
shit.
You ever ask him what he did to deserve to go to hell?
I don't know. He's probably just fucking...
He's probably just tripping balls on DMT.
Yeah, like, I
Just
don't know.
dying and his fucking
but that fucked
brain
me
was
up when I was
just
little. I
popping
was like,
him up.
holy shit, is that...
Yeah, because isn't that how DMT works? Is it get released as you're dying?
It's
What's the deal with
rumored.
that?
It's rumored. It's
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people say that DMT occurs in the brain. It's a lot of people will be like, when you die, near-death experience is just a DMT trip.
I mean, it would explain the whole like, oh, like seeing the light and stuff like that. And then
Near-death
people like
experience,
get resurrected,
like the tunneling,
like doing surgery and shit.
you know, just out-of-body experience. A lot of people put that on that when in times of really great stress and when your body starts to shut down, your brain releases DMT, and then you start to trip sack, and then that's what happens before you die. I don't know how much legitimacy there is to it because I don't think it's been studied.
It's entirely possible.
Entirely possible.
Okay. All right.
We're just gonna
Jamie,
talk about,
pull that up real
We're just going
quick.
to talk about chimps real quick, and we're officially the Joe Rogan podcast.
It's odd. I read a lot about near-death experiences. They're very interesting. In
Yeah.
fact, when I was going through my existential crisis and I was fucking really afraid of dying, which I'm sure we've all been through.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anybody?
Never.
No, really?
It's coming up soon then.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I've never had like I get afraid of. I mean, I get like adrenaline. Like when I went skydiving, obviously the adrenaline gets released because there's a thought in
Right.
the back of your mind that you could die. But I've never had like been through a phase where I fear.
You've never contemplated your own mortality?
I've
Really?
contemplated it many times. I just don't. I've never felt like sickened by it or fear it. It's weird. You think I would, given that I'm afraid of fucking horror movies.
Right.
But for like that bigger picture, it's like I know I'm going to die one day, and I've always been pretty chill with that. I remember I was in high school, and my friend was saying that he was going through a period where he was just like contemplating this mortality, and it was making him real fucking sad and weirded out.
Yeah.
I just couldn't understand it. I was like, obviously I was sympathetic towards him,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
personally I couldn't relate to that experience at all.
I've had friends that have gone through it in high school. I've friends that have gone through it in college.
I'll probably get it when I'm like 50.
You'll have you'll just have a midlife crisis. You won't have the quarter life crisis.
It fucks people up.
Yeah,
it really fucks them up.
For sure.
You know, a friend of mine, he was happy-go-lucky the first 2 years I met him, and then he just all of a sudden just started thinking about, you know, oh my God, I'm going to die. It's not fair. I love being alive, you know. And I'm like, dude, you're like fucking, you know, I'm like you're early mid-20s. You know? Why are you freaking out about it? And that was like, that's how I got out of mine, because I was like, look, if I die in a car accident, I'm not going to see it coming anyways. Yeah. You know, I'm just going to fucking live until I die.
Yeah.
And you just come to accept that.
I get that a lot. I mean, I've never understood how people could get that so young, because whenever I get anxiety about things like that, I always tell myself that I always do that train of thought. Like on the way to today, even, I was running slightly late and I was in traffic and I was getting irritated by it. And then I was like, this is out of my control, so it's fine. Like there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to enjoy the drive. And then it was like, boom, I'm good. Like I no longer felt stressed or tense about being in traffic. I just blasted the tunes and I was good to go. So yeah, I mean, that's
very much in the mindset you choose to be in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a choice, obviously.
Yeah. But you got to meditate, my dudes.
Yeah.
Meditate.
Like I tried meditation.
Praise be.
And
I've been trying it recently. I've been using Sam Harris's app, which is pretty good for like walking you through it, because at the beginning, if you just try and meditate, all your thoughts are is like, I'm not doing this right. This feels weird. Like you just can't focus on your breathing or anything. You can't empty your mind. And like what he does is he has like a daily thing where like, it's like, I think the first 50 days he guides you through it. And there's also like lessons and shit. And he's kind of like talking in a calm voice while you're doing it, which you might think would be distracting. But like the whole point of meditation is that you should be able to hear background noise and people talking and still be able to do it.
Right.
And he's really just guiding you through on like what to focus on. And like, it's good because at the very end of the sessions, he's like, for the last minute, he'll be like, if you feel like you've screwed up or you feel like you haven't been doing it properly for the last 10 minutes, that's okay. Just start again for this last minute and see if you can do it. And it's good. It makes you feel like you didn't just waste your time for like, because that's pretty much how it is when you begin.
People aren't used to clearing their minds.
Yeah.
Everything's on everybody's mind all the time.
Yeah. And meditation really isn't, I guess, about anything that spiritual anymore, as far as it is just about being mindful and about
being aware and like in the moment,
just
present.
Yeah, just being present. And
that's why I like fishing with my dad. It's just really relaxing.
Yeah.
And you know, and we could be completely happy just sitting in silence.
Yes.
And just casting the pole and waiting for a fish to bite. And then when the fish bites, you know, it's like, whoa, and then you fucking reel it in, and then you know, and then you just sit down and bullshit.
Allowing yourself to just be content with moments that you would typically consider being boring. Like let's say you're waiting for something, and like normally the response to that is like, I'll go on my phone and I'll browse and I'll play a game or whatever.
Right.
Like just being able to be like, I'm waiting and that's okay, and just being alone with your thoughts for a little bit, I think is like pretty important nowadays, because we never really get a second to just fucking chill out and just be like in our own heads and figure things out and walk things through. Easier said than done for some people, I guess. But
it's so easy, like when you're standing in line literally anywhere for more than like 2 minutes, you're like, oh,
it's like phone, boom.
Instant,
And this is like pretty cringy and cliche to talk about these days, because mindfulness is all the craze and it's like very in vogue, but you know,
it's like a buzzword.
Yeah. It's true for a reason, I guess.
Was reading about something interesting. It's not the same, but it's you know, like have you ever thought about the fact that, you know, as guys, we can, you know, you can hang out with someone and you could hang out with them for a few hours and not really talk to them at all, but just be content in their company and just enjoy being with them.
Yeah.
I was reading about how apparently...
What do you mean as guys?
No, this is what I was reading about. Apparently women like struggle with that.
Ugh,
apparently,
again, like, women have another problem.
Because like, I mean, have you ever noticed, like, I know that personally when I would hang out with someone, right?
That was a joke, by the way, woman. Sorry about that.
When I'd hang out with my friends and I'll get home, my mum would always be like asking a bunch of questions about them, and the answer would always be, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you guys talk about if you don't talk about like how school's going and shit like that? It's like, well, we just kind of talk about whatever we're doing at that moment.
We just bask in each other's masculine aura, Mom.
Exactly. But
you understand, Mom?
No, I mean, it was this thing I was reading was talking about how like a lot of women will think that their boyfriend is lying about what they're doing, because they'll say that they hang out with their friend, but then they can't answer any questions about like what their friend's been up to and stuff. And it's just because so many guys just hang out with their friend to hang out with their friend, and they will only really talk about what's happening at that moment, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And apparently women don't do that as much.
I love having a good silence
Yeah.
with someone. The
I
only
think
thing
it's
that
so good,
the only thing that freaks me out about it is I'll worry that they're not enjoying it as much as I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm very content with the silence.
So should I say something?
I
Or they
think
gonna
it's
say
good
something?
that we're just chilling, but like I'm worried that they're thinking that it's awkward. You know?
Well, I mean, that's a really good sign of friendship. Like really good friendship between guys is when you can have two people be together for a long period of time and not really talk, but just be happy being with each other. Like I remember I had friends when I was younger, and would have sleepovers and stuff and would talk like shit all. But it would be playing games all night or just watching movies, fucking aggressively. It was great.
Loudly.
I guess this. I don't know if that's true about
I don't
the
know if
woman
it's true
thing
or not.
Obviously, this is just a study that you've read.
It was what I read.
But wouldn't surprise me. I mean, women are pretty average. So
have you ever seen the meme where it's like the wife is in bed with her husband?
Yes.
And she's like, "What? Wonder what he's thinking about. He must be cheating on me." And the guy's mind is just like, "Oh, my fucking bike won't start. God damn it! I wonder what the fuck is wrong."
I wonder why Doritos are shaped like a triangle. Something like that.
Yeah, some fucking retarded.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing with like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend that used to do that all the time, and it pissed me off.
What are you thinking
We'd be
about?
walking around, and she'd be like, "What are you thinking about right now?" It's like, literally nothing. I'm thinking about the fact that we're walking down a street.
Really?
You know?
I don't think I'm ever just thinking about the fact that I'm walking down the street.
I think about some fucking dumb shit all the time.
Yeah, just say nothing because you're too embarrassed to say the dumb thing you're thinking
dude,
about.
Recently, when people ask me what I'm thinking about, like, I'll just answer, like, honestly what I'm thinking about, because it usually makes them laugh.
Yeah.
Just always some retarded bullshit. Just on my
everyone
mind.
thinks about retarded bullshit though. It's I do it all the time just to entertain myself.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'll just think
Just
about
like a
the most fucked
distraction
up
more than
shit
anything.
imaginable just to entertain myself.
Make
Sometimes
myself
I'll say it
laugh.
out loud just to entertain myself and those around me. Yeah. Men, am I right?
Hell yeah.
You guys want to hear about this weird porn I watched?
Absolutely.
So last night, and after I did this, I was like, I got to talk about this on the podcast.
That's a story.
I watch a lot of like haul videos. People just like buying clothes and then trying them on, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I thought you meant videos of holes.
and
They said horror videos.
and because I watch these videos, it means every now and again I'll get recommended a different YouTuber that does them, right? And there's a lot of the time it'll be one that has like millions of views, and it's because they're trying on lingerie, bikinis, or sportswear. And the thumbnail will be like their ass or something, and they get millions of views, and on their channel they get like no views on any of their other videos. It'll be like 10,000 views, but then this one will have like millions.
Okay.
So I was on Pornhub last night, and
As
on
you
the
do.
homepage,
Not sponsored.
Go to Misfits.
on the homepage, I just saw this thumbnail that didn't look like porn. And it was just this Asian woman sitting clothed, looking at a webcam like a YouTube thumbnail. And it said, try on haul. And I was like, I'm kind of curious what this is. So I clicked on it. It's the first thing you see is this black page with writing on it that says, skip to 2 minutes for naked boobs. And then it just disappeared. And then it just went into a YouTube video type thing. She was just like, hey guys, today I'm going to be trying on this, and this.
Was there music in the background?
I think there was a little bit, yeah. And then
Was she like trying on bras and
she was
panties
trying
and
on
shit?
bras, yeah. So she was just sitting in front of a webcam, taking off her bra, and then putting on another one and talking about it. I watched the entire video, just kind of like watching it, like, this is so weird.
Studying.
But then I was like, there's so many videos on YouTube that get millions of views for this. This is an untapped market. Pornhub just needs to become the place where you go to check out lingerie videos.
The real honest reviews. That's where you get in.
Honest
There's nitty-gritty.
lingerie, dildo reviews. It'll be lit.
I think there already are dildo reviews, surely,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think
There's
are.
got to be everything on Pornhub.
Yeah.
I've talked about it on the podcast before, but you guys have seen that British guy who like makes videos like tucking you into bed and kissing you good night. And there's nothing graphic about it at all.
Politely declining to go inside with you.
I love that guy.
I feel like
It's like wholesome porn.
His name's like Brett Creamer or something like that as
yeah,
well.
it's
It's hilarious.
something fucking
don't know.
hilarious.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff on Pornhub that is technically pornographic, but it would be kind of weird to jerk off to. Like that whole video I was watching. I feel like it would be so strange to just sit there jacking off to someone trying on
I
clothes.
think the main audience for that is just lonely men who want like a wife
That makes sense.
to just talk to them about their day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that kind of content. as well. Not that I would know anything
So
about
sad.
that kind of stuff.
JOIs. Jerk off instructions.
Jerk off instructions.
Just a woman standing there telling you to jerk off and then getting naked.
Imagine
It's like, why would she tell you to do it? I know how to do it better than her. What the fuck?
Imagine a prostitute that you order, and she comes over to your house, and then she just nags you about not doing chores, and says that you don't pay enough attention to her.
But she's also naked.
And it's the wife experience package.
That wouldn't be a prostitute. That'd be an escort, all right? That'd be
Escort.
classy.
I see.
I feel like JOI, like jerk off instructions, I feel like it's the porn you do if you want to be in porn but you don't want to get naked.
Oh, you mean for the female?
For the female.
They
It's
still
like-
get naked.
Yeah, some of them do, but I've
Not
seen
that I would know anything about that kind of stuff.
I've seen some of them that, because you know how in Pornhub you hover over it and it like skips through the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
All the
seen
juicy
some where it's
parts.
like they're wearing clothes the whole time and I'm like, these people are just like, I want to get into the porn market, want to make some money, but I don't want to get naked.
Well, a lot of those girls probably also have like, they're like the Patreon girls who
Yeah.
never actually go fully
Sure.
nude.
Yeah.
And the guys keep watching because they're like, one day she'll drop a nude pic and it's going to be epic. I can finally bust my nut that I've been saving up for 6 months. And it just
That's
never
the thing.
happens.
That's the
Not
thing
that I would
about-
know anything about that kind of
That's the
stuff.
thing about those whole videos, man. It's like, you know that the main reason why they're getting millions of views is because it's horny guys that are like, oh, this looks hot.
Yeah.
They're not going to get naked. It's YouTube. What are you expecting?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean,
Why don't you just
the
go on
lonely,
Pornhub?
the lonely man market on the internet is widely like,
Yeah.
people aren't making enough money off lonely guys.
All right, I'm going to
I'm
take this
sure.
up.
Let's
Wait,
do
tell me, so when you do like a clothing channel, you just got to do like a lingerie one all the time.
I'm going to take this
Bump the views up.
opportunity to announce my new JOI channel.
I would argue that, and I don't want to call out the entire anyone who watches Twitch streamers, but a large percentage of people who watch Twitch streams are just lonely ass people.
I stream every day and can confirm.
Not that there's anything wrong with being a lonely ass person. We all go through phases. It's totally chill. But there's a lot of people that are just like, they just want a friend and they just want company. And it's the same kind of thing, but just non-pornographic.
I mean, heaps of that, like with Twitch, it's like one, you can feel like you have a relationship with the streamer where, you hang out with them every night and you watch them do that. And also, so many people have such like huge chat communities. I have people that will talk about like, it's almost like they're in a chat room together, but they're in my Twitch chat and they're just discussing their lives and stuff.
Yeah.
And they do it every day and just, through Twitch, people develop these huge communities of people that just kind of live online.
Yeah. And it's fine. I'm not trying to call these people out because,
You're
like
all
I said,
lonely fucking losers.
Everyone goes through lonely periods of their life, and it's totally cool if Twitch is your coping mechanism. I think Discord is another big one for that.
Oh, Discord is huge.
It's
I think
interesting.
which is good for like background noise though. Sometimes,
yeah,
yeah,
or
just
not-
like if you're like just even like us like editing.
Yeah,
if you're
I'm
sitting
not-
there for hours, it's good to
I'm-
have like background noise.
I'm not saying that everyone who watches Twitch is lonely. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that there's a big portion of the audience that does do it for that reason.
Don't some Twitch streamers, like they'll be in a relationship, but they'll never divulge or acknowledge
Yeah,
the
it's a
fact
big
that they're
part
in
of
a
it,
relationship so that,
Yeah.
the lonely people will donate.
Well, that's that's the more graphic side of like the titty streamers, the
bus-
thoughts.
yeah.
Well, which again, there's nothing wrong with that kind of stuff.
I mean, once again, also,
Once again,
people,
like,
people are fully entitled to hide that they're in a relationship.
Sure,
Of course.
of course. It's
But,
private.
But yeah, it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
These people are making money off,
I remember when I was a kid, if I was playing Xbox by myself, I would have my laptop beside me, and I would have like C-Nanners videos or something on, but I would not be focusing on the video at all. It would just be background noise. I
Sure.
love that shit. And
Oh,
I'm sure that it's
100%.
huge for Twitch. Yeah.
100%.
I used to
Yeah.
do that.
I think even more people on Twitch just use Twitch to fall asleep too, just having it in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, that's
White
why.
noise.
That's why you could have like 500 viewers
I had
and
to
only
piss
like
so bad.
100 people.
And then you
talking.
scream really loudly, and then it cuts in half.
Swagger's just going to take a piss real quick. He's still wearing the GoPro, so that'll be interesting.
Have fun editing that one, Mitchell.
Good man.
Hopefully the recording for this doesn't fuck up,
What are you doing, Mason?
and we can actually post this one to YouTube.
So Rick,
Are you okay, mate?
So is he.
Jesus, just.
it's a really good episode.
But yeah, I mean, this has been pretty much an hour, so I guess once Swagger comes back, we'll sign off and say goodbye. Anything else anyone wanted to bring up just before we close this sucker out? We've talked about James
Last minute
Charles,
thoughts.
talked about dreams, and we've talked about
Burrow.
strange porn.
Talk about Burrow,
Talk about
the
We did talk about
incredible
Burrow.
company that makes amazing couches.
Code Misfits. We did talk about Code Misfits.
Flash Misfits.
Oh fuck!
Slash
I have to cut that out now,
do?
man.
You talked about an inferior product.
He's like borrow.
I was meant to say gamer sub.
Yes.
Gamers subs. Code
Gamersubs.gg.
We need to make a jingle for Gamer Subs.
Gamersubs. It doesn't suck.
That's right.
There we
That
go.
was just
What's up,
completely
bro?
out of tune.
GamerSubs.gg.
What's up,
code
gamer?
Misfits.
Just gamer subs.
Just
Hey,
gamer
subs
subs.
gamer.
Yes, if this ever makes it to YouTube, then welcome. The podcast channel, I guess. If it doesn't, then hopefully someday we'll finally figure out how to record this fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like our last couple times recording with the cameras out and filming was a little awkward, but I feel pretty good about it this time. So,
That
yeah.
being said, this better get 2 million views.
Better get 2 million
Or
views.
we'll
And
never
Ross
like-
Tati, Slay Queen.
Or not. Guys, thank you for listening. Any final words there, Swagger, mate?
That was like the longest piss I've ever taken in my life.
Isn't that long?
That was like 30 seconds.
I don't know, dude. It was like a racehorse. I was really blasting that shit.
Thanks for the info, bud.
Hey, dude.
All right, this has been
anytime.
Misfits Podcast.
Okay, guys, we'll see you
And the
next
main.
time.
Like and subscribe.